Hi, in this video we'll talk about the structure and function of the antibodies. Now if we separate the serum proteins by electrophoretic mobilities, we'll find that serum protein will separate out into albumin. We'll find out that serum protein will separate out into albumin and globulin fractions. Now the globulin fractions can be again categorized into alpha, beta and gamma. The gamma globulin fraction was found to be associated with antibody action, and hence that was a portion that was first termed to be antibody. But later the term immunoglobulin was accepted for the antibody like proteins, and the term was defined as protein of animal origin with known antibody activity, and the term also included certain other proteins which were chemically and structurally related to antibodies. Now immunoglobulins, they constitute 20 to 25% of total serum protein. There are 5 classes of immunoglobulins: IgG, IgA, IgM, IgD and IgE. A short form to remember it will be GAM, DE, GAM, D. Now this picture shows the structure of immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins are glycoproteins, and each molecule of immunoglobulin is made up of light chain and heavy chain. So there is a pair of light chain and a pair of heavy chain. The smaller chains or the light chains are same in all classes of immunoglobulin. So they are similar in all classes, and there are 2 types, lambda and kappa. So a particular molecule of immunoglobulin can have either a kappa type of light chain or a lambda type of light chain, but it cannot have both types at the same time. Now the heavy chain is distinct. It's distinct between the classes, and heavy chain is responsible for the antigen binding specificity. Light chain and the heavy chain are linked together by disulfide bonds, and now we can see here, this is the antigen binding region, this is the variable region, and the antibody, it has 2 fragments. This is FAB, that is this portion is for antigen binding portion, and this portion is crystallizable fragment. This is a gross structure of antibody. Now let's talk about the various types of antibodies. Starting with IgG. IgG antibody has a half-life of 23 days, and it is the most abundant antibody amongst all. So it makes 80% of all antibodies, and it is distributed equally between intravascular and extravascular compartments. And there are 4 types: IgG 1, 2, 3 and 4, and IgG 1 is the most abundant type. As we saw, it is a major serum immunoglobulin comprising 80%, and its concentration is 8 to 16 milligram per ml. It can cross placenta. It is the smallest immunoglobulin. The molecule is small, so it can cross the placenta. So it is not synthesized in fetus, but fetus receives it from the mother. It is also known as warm immunoglobulin. And one more important point about IgG immunoglobulin is that it is the one immunoglobulin that is found in gingival crevicular fluid. So we can remember G for gingival crevicular fluid. So it's IgG that is found in GCF. Next, coming to IgA. IgA has a half-life of 6 to 8 days, and it comprises 10 to 13% of all immunoglobulin. So you can say it's the second most common immunoglobulin. It is a major immunoglobulin in colostrum, saliva, and tears. There are two types, IgA1, IgA2. And IgA2, it lacks a disulfide bond between heavy and light chain. And this is again an important point. And it is a major component of secretory immunoglobulin. Now, as we saw, there are two types, serum immunoglobulin and secretory immunoglobulin. Serum immunoglobulin is monomeric, while the secretory is dimeric, wherein the two molecules are joined together by J chain. And the secretory immunoglobulin, it is synthesized by plasma cells. Immunoglobulin A does not fix complement. It can activate alternate C pathway, and both IgA and IgG are secreted in milk. This is a picture of secretory immunoglobulin. This is a secretory piece, and this is the J chain that links the two molecules together, making a dimer. Next, coming to IgM, or the large immunoglobulin, it has a half-life of 5 days. It comprises 5 to 10% of all immunoglobulins, and it is mostly intravascular in distribution. Thus, it protects against blood invasion. So, it is found inside the blood vessels, and there are two types, M1 and M2. And it is also called as millennial molecule because it has a very heavy molecular weight, and it comprises of 5 molecules joined together by J chain. So it's a polymer of 5 joined together by J chain. It's the oldest immunoglobulin class, and it is the earliest immunoglobulin synthesized by fetus. So although fetus has IgG, but it does not synthesize IgG by itself, it receives IgG from mother. Earliest immunoglobulin that can be synthesized by fetus is IgM. Also, in response to infection, the first immunoglobulin to be synthesized is IgM, especially intravascular infections. This is the structure of IgM. These are the 5 molecules joined together by J chain. Now, IgM antibodies, they are short-lived. So, if we see IgM antibodies, that indicates that there was a recent infection. It is 500 to 1000 times more effective in opsonization as compared to IgG, and 100 times more bactericidal, 20 times more effective in bacterial agglutination, but it is less effective in neutralization of viruses and toxins. Now, both IgG and IgM activate complement fraction. We already saw that IgA does not activate complement, but IgG and M activate complement fraction. Now, this is called as cold immunoglobulin. Earlier we saw that IgG was called warm immunoglobulin. Now, both IgG and IgM are involved in type 2 or cytotoxic type of hypersensitivity reactions. Next is IgD. Half-life is 2 to 8 days, and it's a small fraction. It just comprises 1% of total immunoglobulin concentration. It is again mostly intravascular. We saw that IgM was intravascular. Again, IgD is intravascular. So if you draw the vessel, IgG was kind of equally distributed intra and extravascular. Again, D has two types, D1 and D2, and structurally it is similar to IgG. Now, D and M, they serve as reorganization receptors for antigens, and they activate B lymphocyte for antibody production or suppression. Next, coming to IgG, it is an important antibody. It has a half-life of 1 to 5 days, and it's mostly extravascular. So if we come back here, we see that IgE is mostly extravascular, IgM and D intra. Now it has a unique property of heat lability. So this IgE is heat labile, while all other immunoglobulins are heat stable. Now it is inactivated at 56 degrees centigrade in 1 hour. It has an affinity for mast cell. These mast cells are the ones which produce histamine and are responsible for allergic reactions. and IgE binds to these mast cells and cause them to release histamine. IgE mediates Prosenitz-Kussner reaction, which is a method to detect atopic antibody. It is responsible for anaphylactic type of hypersensitivity reaction, and it plays a special role in parasitic infections. So that was about all the different types of antibodies. Now if we talk about binding of antibodies to antigen, it's a very specific kind of a reaction, and the site where antigen binds is called as paratope. The term is important, and this paratope, it gets its specificity by specific antigenic determinants on the paratope, and these determinants are called as idiotope. So idiotope is the part of paratope that is responsible for its attachment to a specific type of an antigen. Right? So sum total of these idiotope on a particular Ig molecule make idiotype of that particular Ig. So all the idiotype gives us a typical characteristic to a particular Ig molecule, and that makes idiotype. So that's briefly about the important terminology associated with antigen binding site on immunoglobulin. So that was about immunoglobulin structure, its various types, and its attachment with antigen. Thank you.